Good morning or good afternoon, whatever time you guys are listening to us. Welcome back to another episode of the Layman's AI Podcast. I am Adam,
And my name is Brian.
and today we are here for episode number 31, and we're kind of going international on this one, Brian. Do you have
hmm
any clue where we're headed today?
Oh, it's a faraway land. Probably a country I never would have thought of when we started this podcast. And
Yeah,
I mean nothing bad by it. But we're going to Pakistan
we
today,
are
and we're
going to,
discussing U.S. and Pakistan and
yeah.
how we relate with AI.
We are talking Pakistan today. You and I were surprised to find out that we have quite a few listeners in Pakistan, consistent listeners in Pakistan. It
Yeah.
was one of the early things we discovered with this podcast and with the data. And just about 2 weeks ago, stumbled upon a little article about the rapid growth of AI use in Pakistan. And that
hmm
led us down a rabbit hole. And we made some nice discoveries and some nice connections. And we're doing today's podcast is basically going to be what can the US learn from Pakistan's AI boom? We've got
hmm
statistics, we've got verified statistics, we've got some interesting notes that we've discovered that Pakistan's doing that the US might not be. And it's interesting. They're
hmm
doing some things that I think would benefit the United States if we implemented it similar.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, I mean it's I mean, it comes as a shock. I mean, obviously you live in a country or wherever in the world.
mhm,
You can't learn about what everybody's doing in every other country and everything. But yeah, the actually one kind of fun fact about this, majority of our listeners are in Pakistan,
mhm.
which after the first 2 months, you and I both looked at the stats and we're like, how in the world did this happen? Because
Yeah.
we're like we never marketed to this country, we never tried to reach out to this country. And once again, no insults whatsoever, and speaking nothing down about any other country. Whatever country you're in, you're giving us a listen, we love you.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it was just a shock to us, and digging deeper, and we actually found out, and I know you found out too, our I think we both found out actually, and I'm mumbling here, that AI podcasts are big in Pakistan and tech podcasts are big over
Yes.
there because this is where they get a lot of their information from, and it's actually a growing market, a very developing market,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of interest in this technology, which after putting everything together, kind of made sense. So you kind of came up with the idea, be like, you know what, we should pay homage to one of our best listener demographics. So.
Yeah, our biggest one. I like to think that there's a lot of Cleveland Browns fans in Pakistan, and that's my probably why they're listening to us. I hope that's the case. I hope there's a Browns backers club in Pakistan. And
Uh,
if you guys are, I doubt it, but you know what? If you do, we support you in
yeah,
all of our
I
misery.
think they're more of a cricket country, if
I
if I
think
can.
so. I
I
think
think they
so.
do. They're big on cricket over there.
Yes, I think that is correct. So let's dive right in. I want to go right to the national policies.
hmm
So, if our listeners remember, you and I did a three-part series where we dissected America's AI action plan, if you will.
hmm
Um, and again, there was things on there that we said we liked about it. There was a lot of things that were vague on it. Well, Pakistan has their own national plan, but I think there's some differences here. There's also some similarities, such as they put it in pillars as well. Their structure was pillars. But interesting enough, like the U.S., we don't really have a single national AI fund.
hmm
We spend things fragmented across different federal agencies and things like that. Pakistan did not do that. They have a national, they not only have a national AI policy that was established this year, 2025, they've established a national AI fund using 30% of national R&D funds that they get to support AI research,
hmm
startups, commercialization, and it is a centralized government-led strategy focused on the workforce and applied use. So, unlike the United States with AI, where everything's kind of spread out, there's different AI leaders here, there, you're learning
hmm
it on your own sometimes. The Pakistani government has taken the initiative of making AI a priority for their country's development.
hmm
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the way to go right there. I think the biggest difference between the U.S. and Pakistan is like U.S. tech companies have been, at the forefront of all this, like
Hmm.
OpenAI, Apple, Google. Um, now they have XAI or what have you, and they've been sort of private companies developing this whole thing, and the U.S. government can hardly pass internet regulations at
Yeah.
all. And now you have like this new AI technology when we already had an established tech sector. Like we had one of the most well-established tech sectors in the world and everything. And when Apple and Google were just booming along, everyone wants to be like them, everyone wants to do what they're doing. Now AI comes along and suddenly it's this like brand new technology that nobody really has a grasp of, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
And now that it's here, we're still trying to figure it out. Whereas I think in Pakistan they weren't quite as up to speed with our tech companies, but they have a leaner starting point. So they said,
Yes.
okay, AI is our starting point. Let's go from there. And I think that could be an advantage in their development, to be honest with you.
I think so. I think they're going to see. I think this investment is a smart investment on their part.
Hmm.
I always get nervous when governments get in the way of things or try to set the tone. There was a time where that worked in the United States.
Hmm.
There was a time, and maybe we can get back to that. But I do think this will work with Pakistan, provided if the government is serious about this, which all signs are indicating that they're serious about becoming one of the AI leaders in terms of infrastructure, daily use, and all those things. The will is clearly there when we talk about our next point that we discovered with
Hmm.
Pakistan. But if the government can maintain that and stay stable, I do see good things coming. I could see in 20 years people talking about the AI revolution that happened in Pakistan that made it economically better off than what
Hmm.
it was. That
Hmm.
can happen, and I think it's likely to happen if they stay with this.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think there's like a big desire right there because I mean what you're talking about right now is the dedicated national AI fund via
mhm.
Ignite.
Yeah.
Ignite is not exclusive to Pakistan. It's I think there's a few of those in the US if I do believe so. But
Yes.
it's kind of like Science Without Borders or Technology Without Borders type thing, which I love a lot. Love it because it kind of cuts through any of the political nonsense. We just go through like straight to the technology.
Hmm.
But, having that central um sort of pillar, I would say definitely helps them out because now we don't have like multiple companies trying to say, "Oh, we want our AI to be better than your AI,"
Hmm.
whereas everyone is just like, "Let's just figure out how to do with this," basically. And I think part of it is just the size of the country itself. It definitely has somewhat an advantage in this way because the U.S. is a huge country,
Right.
one of the largest ones. I know Russia and Canada are much larger, but maybe China. But we just have all these private companies, and kind of at the disadvantage of a private company is they need profit and they need to profit more than their competitors,
Hmm.
which creates good, it creates bad though. So this is kind of something where, I almost feel like we need to kind of lay down everything aside and say, okay, I'm gonna support these companies' AI ambitions and kind of help them out because it's the best technology and it's the right thing to do, as opposed to, okay, who's politically aligned with us or who's donating the right amount of money where, essentially.
Hmm.
So that's kind of sort of the disadvantage I think we have.
I do think in this case that is where it is a little bit of a disadvantage because while I did not do a thorough deep dive into all of the pillars within Pakistan's national AI plan,
Hmm.
one thing I've noted is I don't recall reading the development of Pakistani AI companies. I
Hmm.
think their goal is to use what's available
Yeah.
to the best of their capabilities. Well, that's going to
Hmm.
save you a lot of money.
Hmm.
You're not necessarily the front runner in terms of creativity, but you're not spending money creating the tool that's already there. It's going to be interesting to see this. I think this is going to pay off. I really do.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah. I want to move into the stat that really got this all started, which was everyday AI usage by the public.
Mm.
Uh, Very interesting to me. So when they surveys indicated that 70 in Pakistan, 76% of online adults in Pakistan already use AI tools weekly, and
Hmm.
84% report AI use at work, especially for freelancing, content, productivity tasks,
Hmm.
rapid normalization among the non-technical users. And I think that's the big takeaway. It is normalized to use AI in Pakistan already.
Hmm.
And in the US, by comparison, similar stat shows that on the US, adaptation is lower but growing. We're at 55% to 60% report having used AI tools, with
Yeah.
regular use concentrated amongst professionals and students. But that's concentrated. That's not talking about the general population, whereas in Pakistan, we are referring to the general population.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the acceptance, I would say, within the
Hmm.
country. It sounds like they're more accepting of this.
Yes.
Um, as when, if you look at the uh kind of the perception within the United States, it's still negative. Like if you like ask everybody, if you just walk down the street and you say, AI good or bad, and you poll everybody within the US, and they will say, the majority will say bad. Because they have like this bad, very bad negative connotation about it. And I still think the Terminator movie franchise is still has some like residual influence over that myself.
There's a
But
dissertation there.
yeah, definitely. But I did a quick little look right here. As
Mhm.
far as percentage of adults using ChatGPT or using AI, 76 in Pakistan, 23% in the US.
Also,
Um,
Pakistan's primary tool is pretty much
yeah,
ChatGPT, if I'm hearing that
and
correctly.
yeah, and frequent AI use still 76%, 23%. So basically by
Yeah.
percentage wise, they're accepting of this technology as far more than we are. Which I think, we might want to say, hey, at least we need to look at this or anything like that.
Hmm.
So and it's kind of an interesting thing right there, or interesting statistic is how much of a percentage people within Pakistan use over the US. Whereas, we have the technical infrastructure, for sure. Like we have like some of the most, advanced technical infrastructure in the world,
Hmm.
but the acceptance of it is becoming, it's going to be a big influence going forward, to be honest
Absolutely.
with you.
Absolutely. And I'm wondering, how did it get normalized in Pakistan? Is Pakistan's culture just more natural at trying things that are new? Or is this government-led initiative playing a part in this? I don't know. That's time will
Yeah,
tell on that one, I think.
yeah, I know. It's just interesting. Because um yeah, I mean I can't really think of like what would spark something. I mean you don't know what would spark something within a certain country. But I mean maybe it's just the technology within the country is just relatively new compared to us
Yeah,
because
maybe.
because Silicon Valley was the center of the tech boom across the world.
Hmm.
And that was in California, and it was we were just at the center of it back in the 80s, and we kind of like established a foothold right there. And working as an engineer, I can tell you that it's not very warmly received amongst the engineering community. As of right now, it's kind of
Interesting.
a lot of us are kind of stuck in our ways, and learning something new, going beyond what we already know, can
Yeah,
kind of hinder our development a little bit. I mean, I'm guilty of this too. I'm not going to point out to every engineer I'm guilty of being stuck in my ways as well, but
right.
that's another kind of interesting thing right there.
But what you're saying, I'm seeing it in the education industry,
Hmm.
specifically at the college level, the collegiate level.
Hmm.
A lot of no need for AI. Some places are embracing it, which is good. I see some people embracing it within that industry, but overall, I think people still see it as a cheating tool instead of
Hmm.
no, it's just a good tool that can be used to help you understand something better, faster, and possibly easier. So,
Um, yeah, that's kind of yeah, I mean that's kind of like an interesting thing right there because I remember I was talking to going into the teacher aspect, I was talking to one of my wife's family members who works in the education, and we were talking about AI.
mhm.
Big shout out to them, her family down there for listening because they are some of them are regular listeners, but
Oh,
and
thank you.
yes, yeah. Anyway, even said that you can no longer tell a kid to go home, write a 500 word essay on this, that, or the other because they can just punch it right into AI and have it done already. Be like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, right at a sixth grade level, and then it could do that for you. So, is it cheating? Is it handy? The answer is yes. So it just kind of depends on how you use it.
Yep,
So,
I agree. All right, next thing. Let's talk a little bit about educating yourself on AI usage.
hmm
So, with this is probably my favorite part just because of my background. When we talk about the mass digital and AI skills programs, the
hmm
United States, we mostly rely on private platforms.
yes.
Coursera is great. You got the Google certifications, those are amazing. But there's no single national digital program that's a comparable scale to what Pakistan has. So this
hmm
is my favorite part. I haven't gone on this yet, but I read about it. Pakistan has DigiSkills .pk. I think that's instead of doing .com on the internet
hmm
over there.
Yeah,
It
dot
is government
Pakistan.
ran. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think that's dot Pakistan because we have dot US and there's dot CA for Canada. So,
Oh, thank you. Oh, is that what .ca is?
yes,
Oh, wow. Okay, you learned
you learn
something new.
something new. Exactly.
Yeah, it's been a day of that for me. But anyways, the DigiSkills.pk, it is government ran, and it is
hmm
most importantly a free platform with millions of people enrolled. And the focus on this is practical, somewhat income generating digital skills like freelancing,
hmm
AI assisted work, and digital services, which I know it's big in Pakistan. Digital services is very big. We
Yeah.
all know that in the United States.
hmm
But it's awesome to me that the government is willing to roll that out for free. I mean, I'm sure somebody's paying for it in the government in their budget, but
Yeah.
still to have, you could skill up, as they say,
hmm
for free in Pakistan.
Yeah, that's kind of something that I kind of wish we had more of
I
because
agree.
we talk about skill gaps. You know, the big thing right now in the U.S. is made in America. Everybody wants to make it in America. They want to bring all the manufacturing to America. Well, I have worked in the manufacturing industry for a long time, and I can tell you, those factories that you're envisioning where, you know, hundreds and of employees show up with their, you know,
Hmm.
blue jeans, brown boots, and their lunch pail, and just kind of do like the old school like assembly lines. Like that's not going to happen, even if we do
No.
bring it back. The manufacturing, you need to learn some of these digital skills. Like you need
Mhm.
to learn some of these tech skills. You have to. Like if you want manufacturing to come back, you have to. And we need to provide more of this. And this is what I like. I'm actually on their website right now, kind of looking at it a little bit. And there's a lot of nice programs they have. Like they have
Yeah.
literacy with all the Microsoft Office, freelancing, marketing, analytics,
All for
video
free.
editing, graphic design. Yeah, it's definitely
I
a
love this.
very interesting thing. And I think on a base level, the U.S. should set something up like this,
I
just to get you like literacy, just
I
like a digital literacy program.
I love it. I mean, we have digital literacy certs and stuff like that, but I don't know how AI driven they are. But
hmm
but what I hate about this is being in the education system.
hmm
It's one of the hardest things to change.
hmm
The whole system's stuck in its ways, and there's many multiple reasons. I'm not going to be a guy that blames government or that blames school boards or teachers unions or parents or anything like that. No, no, no. There's multiple reasons why the education system is slow to change. I feel as a parent,
hmm
my kids need to learn these skills now. They're not going to get it. And I'm in a pretty good school district. They're
hmm
not going to get the skills that I think they should get. So now I've got to take my time to teach them and coach them on
Yeah.
AI, proper use of it, how to use it so that you're not cheating, how to use it as a learning tool. How can they feel comfortable using it so that they're not getting in trouble? I have to take the initiative to do that now. And I feel like that's going to put us behind as a country. That actually has
hmm
the potential to put us behind as a country. Whereas if I'm a Pakistani resident or citizen, I have the capability of going online and learning it for free right then and there. We do have
hmm
YouTube. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. That's a great learning tool. It really is.
It can be a
But
double-edged sword for
exactly, it can
sure.
be a double-edged sword. But I have learned so much from YouTube when it comes to
hmm
AI, positively too. Way more positive than negative,
Yeah.
but
You
still,
just you got to go to the correct channel. Like you got to go to the
yeah.
you have to research what channel you're going on because I
Hmm.
know I watch a lot of Ask This Old House for some home repair ideas.
Nice.
That's and you know I could tell these guys know what they're doing. Like I kind of did a little research into them because and everything like that, but um like either way, like going back to these AI skills, this is a fantastic little centralized digital literacy program they have put together right now,
Hmm.
which is digiskills.pk. Yeah, I'm looking at a lot of these, and a lot of people think that, oh, I'm not an engineer or I'm not a white collar worker. I don't need these tech skills, but it's like they're
Hmm.
spilling over into everything. Like
Yeah.
if you want to be a laborer, like even building houses, they have 3D printed houses now, and you got to learn some tech skills with that, but you have to learn some of the manual labor and masonry skills, obviously, but just getting like these base tech skills, and I think this is actually a pretty good one. Some of them might not agree with them totally, but it's definitely something that I would love to see, the U.S. put together here. Whether or not we can get our current political system to agree on something, that's a whole nother story. But
And that's a shame.
yeah,
That's just a
it
shame.
is.
It's stalemate. I mean,
Hmm.
an absolute stalemate.
Yeah, that's
Um,
where we're at right now. But we do have some certificates. Like I think you pointed out right here. I'm looking at the outline. You got some Google career certificates and everything.
yeah, we have
Um,
those. Yeah.
a lot of these are a private company, and I have done some research. I've used AI, asked them, I do this for a living, and I want to transition into some tech jobs or whatever. What are some good skills to learn? And you can ask them for some free certifications as well. So if you want to like learn these tech skills in the US, you can find like free, kind of base layer certifications that you can get. It's not going to get you that six-figure job right away, but it will definitely help you build those skills and everything. But they're all private companies right now.
Hmm.
Nothing's certified by the government that I know of. I don't know if you were able to find anything.
Yeah. Knowing what I know about industry-based credentials, that was original topic of my dissertation. I will
Hmm.
tell you that there are out there, but they usually cost money. Or if they're free
Yeah,
courses, all of a sudden you have to take this test and it costs money.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's
that's a caveat that a lot of people don't
Yeah,
mention
yeah,
sometimes when
once you
they,
get that
yeah,
kind of yeah, you have to start taking that test. But this is something I think the US can definitely implement is just take
I
like the
agree.
very elementary skills to kind of close that skills gap.
Hmm.
Because that's really what we need right now.
And if anybody from the U.S. government is listening to our podcast, please like and subscribe. And if you need help developing this, please give me and Brian contact us. If you're the U.S. government, you'll know how to do that.
No,
Uh,
yes.
yes, and we will help.
Yeah, if you want to come and chat with us, well,
we,
we'd
we
love
would
to
love
have
to
you on.
chat. Yeah.
We'd love to have you on. But
uh,
yeah, either way, what's our next point, Adam?
well, so the next point, I want to talk about taxes and tax incentives. Okay,
Hmm.
that's always big in the United States, and this kind of I didn't think this was as big as what it was when I originally was doing research on this, but it turned out it actually is. So Pakistan offers zero income tax on IT and ITES exports, and that's through mid 2025 that we were able to find it.
Hmm.
The other incentives to encourage AI enabled exports and foreign clients. It's basically a focus on strong global digital services, but there's zero income tax on it. But in the United States, they offer research and development and tax credits at state level initiatives, but not so much at the federal level. It's not like what it is in Pakistan. But due to AI specific export tax holidays, policy supports favors large firms rather than individual digital workers. And I think that's where Pakistan has it is Pakistan that would favor the digital worker, the individual.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've monetized the digital workers so much, I
Yeah.
think, and that's kind of
Yeah.
where we're kind of struggling right now because we kind of hold on to our patents, we hold on to our technology a little bit, but some of this has to be more widely available.
Agreed.
In my opinion there.
Hmm.
But I think there are some R&D credits that you could do. The R&D has some sort of tax credits and everything, but I think those need to be developed much further there. I
Hmm.
think like companies training their own employees to reskill them, I think is a big tax incentive that we need right now.
Love that
Because
idea.
I've seen a lot of companies, been with a lot of companies, they don't like to train employees a lot as much as they used to, which is a big shame because I think I was reading a post on LinkedIn. They were talking two executives talking to each other. It says one executive says, what happens if we pay all this money to train our employees and they leave? And what do we have then? And the second executive is like, okay, well, what if we don't pay to train our employees and they stay? What do we have then?
Well, that's a good point.
So it's kind of,
That's a
some are
very
going to
good point.
leave, some of them are going to leave, but enough of them will stay, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to my point that if we offer more like tax incentives to reskill employees, and especially with AI, is something we
Yeah.
need.
I think that's more for I want to say that's for the individual. And in the
Hmm.
United States, we always focus on the taxing of these big corporations, these big tech firms and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And one of the things that our international listeners may not understand is in the United States, and I'm not bashing our companies,
Hmm.
they're very good at hiding their money to a point
Hmm.
that they're taxed to the minimum amount possible to
Hmm.
maximize their profit. Because that's some of the
Yeah.
benches and measures that they use for this. What I think the United States should consider doing is something along the lines of what they did in education many years ago. It was during the Obama administration, during the recession. They didn't do tax incentives because, there's not really tax incentives for educators. It is tax money anyways. But what they did was this unique competition that was called Race to the Top.
Hmm.
And some people bashed it. Some people thought it was terrible, government oversight and stuff like that. So I actually had a different experience with it. I was very fortunate to be in a school district that was one of the early award winners of the Race to the Top. And they handed our school district, I think it was $20 million, $20 million of money to innovate and come up with an early one-to-one initiative in a large school district in North Carolina.
Hmm.
That actually did have an impact on how we practiced our education system because we did have to change immediately to upskill. Okay, now the kids have a laptop in front of them. It's not just take the worksheet and put it in front of the laptop. How can they use the laptop to get better at what they do? It
Hmm.
forced us to change. And I'll tell you
Hmm.
what, we were already a good school district. I thought that even made us a better school district.
Yeah.
So it was a unique experience. I feel like if the government was to take that kind of approach, it doesn't even necessarily have to be it doesn't even necessarily have to be tax incentives, I think is what
Yeah.
I'm getting at is my little spiel
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I mean the tax incentives sound attractive to a company.
Yeah.
Like when you're talking the bean counters and the accountants and the shareholders at a major corporation, those tax incentives sound enticing. And
Hmm.
I think there's going to be a lot of give and take that we need to do, and this is one thing the government can do. Like kind of the second point, first point, providing a centralized elementary certification backed by the government.
Hmm.
And two, they can offer these incentives right here because we're trying to play, uh, basically trying to play catch up and just accepting AI.
Hmm.
Essentially, we're developing it, and we're some of the leaders of this around the world, but we still have to convince the majority of our population that this is a positive thing.
Yep.
And
And I don't think we should be doing that at this point. I think we should be further ahead.
yeah, definitely. I
But
think we should know, but hey, this is why we have this podcast
this is why
to
we have
just
this
try to bring it
podcast.
along a little bit more and more. So,
So
I think that's why we started it because we just loved it so much. But
that is.
anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, you were about to go on to a point before I started like puffing us up.
Oh, you're fine. I like it when you do that. So the last 2 points, I'm going to share this. Uh, they're similar to a point that it's not necessarily that Pakistan's ahead of us in this
Hmm.
next one, but I want you to pay close attention to this one, in particular, international validation, which is another reason why this stumbled into my lap, that this is a possible interesting topic for us.
Hmm.
So for Pakistan, Google and other global firms have published Pakistan-specific AI opportunity agendas, highlighting
Hmm.
workforce scale, English fluency, and AI-enabled remote work as the growth drivers.
Hmm.
So even though most of them use ChatGPT, they still got Google coming in and other global firms doing
Yeah.
Pakistan-specific AI initiatives. That's
Yeah.
impressive to me that they're willing to do it country specific for them. They must see, I'm not surprised that these big companies see this stuff and know this stuff before you and I even find out about it. That I think they know Pakistan's serious about its AI growth, and that's why they're
Yeah.
willing to invest there.
Yeah. I also kind of wonder now thinking about it, how much cheaper are the workers going to be than the tech professionals in the US?
That's true. It's a valid point. Yeah.
that could be a driving factor. Could that reflect on, what we demand of ourselves versus, we know our worth,
Hmm.
here, or like we like to say we do. Are we overvaluing ourselves? Is it too expensive to live over here? But I think a lot of that has to do with how much they're going to pay people. Not totally, but I think there's a bit of a bit of an incentive there.
Yeah.
But no, I think they're going to go with a lot of the other countries across the world. A lot of these developing nations, I think, are going to embrace this a lot more
Hmm.
than some of the, established first world countries that are already are well off, already are wealthy.
Yeah.
Where if, as you go into a developing country, not saying Pakistan is, a third world country or anything. I know they're a nuclear power, but either way, they're going to embrace this more because this is their opportunity to make
Absolutely.
it and everything. And I think that also kind of, has to be understood as like, are we spoiled as a nation? Or are we just
I'm not
kind of content?
I'm not sure we're spoiled at this point. I know how people could
Hmm.
think that. I'm
Yeah,
not sure we're spoiled.
just devil's advocate.
I think our focus isn't there because while
Hmm.
here we are with Pakistan having Google and other large firms come in and doing Pakistani specific AI opportunities. In the United States, a lot of our opportunity agendas are focused more on regulation, safety, and governance,
Hmm.
not necessarily the upskilling that we really need.
Hmm.
So it's not that we're doing it wrong. It's just that their focus, I think, benefits their country a little more than what we're doing at the moment. However, there is
Yeah,
stuff to be said for regulation and safety. I'm not going to deny that.
yeah, yeah. I think.
It's interesting, but I think Pakistan has the right. I think Pakistan has the right vision at the moment.
Hmm.
Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But
Yeah.
um, yeah. What's our next point here?
This
I'm
is the
kind of
last
scrolling
one. Now,
through.
this one, America has the, before I even say this, and I'm not an expert, but I know enough to know America has the better infrastructure at this time for
Yeah.
technology.
Hmm.
While the U.S. has a highly advanced infrastructure, but the AI gains have been incremental, not exactly transformational. We touched on that actually, I think in
Hmm.
our last episode. But because the digital saturation is already high, the benefits skew towards enterprise rather than first-time adoption, which
Hmm.
we agree with that completely.
Yeah.
So now in Pakistan, the developing of this, they have there's multilateral reports that highlight rapid expansion in Pakistan's digital and telecom infrastructure. I don't think any American is terribly surprised to hear that their telecom infrastructure is there. For those of you who are international and you may not know, a lot of times in the United States, when you call customer service, you're usually routed to somewhere in Pakistan, and possibly India too. But I do think it's mostly Pakistan. But
Hmm.
anyways, this creates conditions for fast AI diffusion amongst the SMEs and individuals. So I think what they're trying to say there is Pakistan does have enough of an infrastructure so that AI can expand rapidly, and I think they're going to build on that in the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, definitely. When we talk about infrastructure too, I know we have the data centers. We're putting in data
Hmm.
centers right now.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of one of the main drivers of AI. Well, it is one of the main drivers of AI because we're processing data like never before, especially
Hmm.
with all this technology and everything. And I think that kind of keeps us ahead a little bit, but it's not, it's only going to be a matter of time before, these other countries start catching up. And, we want to put a data center like in your remote area and there's not many jobs. Who wants us to put it here? They're going to, love the, benefits that might come with it. I know the benefits of having a data center in your town are very debatable at the moment.
Right.
But I think, just us having all these data centers ready to go are kind of gives us that advantage right there. But, you could start building more
Hmm.
within Pakistan. And who knows, some of our data centers might be helping Pakistan themselves.
It very well could, because keep in mind,
Yeah.
I don't think Pakistan's actually creating the new AI tools. I think they want to use what already exists.
Hmm.
So if they want to use data centers that already exist, that saves them a little bit of money on their end. And if I recall, with the data centers, that was something in the AI national plan that the United States had that
Hmm.
you and I
Yeah.
did agree with. We said, yes, we
Hmm.
do want, even though it's debatable at the local level, we are aware we have to have these data centers in order for AI to advance the way we need it to advance or want it to advance.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of negotiation, I think, within, where we're going to put data centers, how we're going to implement them, how big do they need to be, and everything like that. We're going to have micro data centers. Are you going
Mm.
to be able to have a room in your house where you say, okay, I'll run a mini data center and collect a passive income right there?
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
That would be something. You know what? I'm going to get to
All right.
work on that.
Good idea.
Um,
You get to work on that, and I'll try to
but
fix the Cleveland Browns front office.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay, I have a better shot at making
I'm
my
well
massive
aware of
data
that.
center. But yeah, anyway, just to kind of, start driving home here. Key takeaways for the US listeners. I think we have to, how to say this, not be too proud to learn from another country, to be honest with you, and
Hmm.
kind of see what they're doing. Be like, hey, they have a good idea over there, which I think the willingness, I think in Pakistan is, something we can learn from, and maybe they realize this is the next level of technology. We need to start realizing this ourselves as well.
I agree with you 100%. And I think originally my big takeaway was something along the lines of like the AI adaptation is being driven by access, in Pakistan. But I would not be surprised with what we've seen if the AI explosion or boom that's happened in there is government support of an initiative.
Hmm.
They offer the free trainings. They made it a part of their national policy. They
Hmm.
made it an ideal opportunity. They're funding it. They're talking the talk and actually walking the walk is what I've
Yeah.
gathered from this. And I think if it's all true, which we vetted, we looked at Pew Research, we looked at several of the stats. They seem to be accurate based on our knowledge, and they're doing the right things. And I think it's exciting. I think
Hmm.
it's exciting for Pakistan. I think it's exciting even for the United States because we
Yeah.
can watch what they're doing and then say, all right, this is working. Let's do a little bit more of what they're doing. And we can learn from other countries. Uh, we're a country founded on other countries, people coming here from other
Yeah.
countries. So you know what?
Basically.
We can learn from other countries. And I like what Pakistan's doing right now. I'm really glad we did this episode on it.
Hmm.
And that's my big takeaway, Brian.
Yeah. So, a couple other ones. I just kind of asked Gemini on the side why their
Oh,
population percentage is more embracing of this. And another kind of interesting fact right here, where is this? The population of Pakistan is on, well, the U.S. is estimated between 342 and 343 million. Pakistan is estimated between 249 and 257 million. I did not know there were that many people there.
yeah, that's a lot, but I didn't think it was that high
Yeah, I I,
because
I was kind of
geographically,
surprised. Maybe I should you know check my own ignorance because yeah, that's a lot of people.
you know
Fifth
what?
most populous.
Now that you started talking about population, I am wondering what's the breakdown by the ages? How
Yes,
how
so here it
how
is.
youth forward is Pakistan compared to the United States? I'll bet they've got us beat there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's kind of what some of the reasons why they embrace it more rapidly. A free substitute for tutoring, professional proofreading, basic coding assistance, etc. They've
Okay.
embraced this as a teacher. And
Nice.
that's kind of one of my big things. It's like, you know, you embrace this as a tutor for yourself. I've started doing this too, where I kind of ask AI, okay, I'm doing this. What am I doing wrong here? And they can help you drive there. So, they don't have all these tutoring services, and everything. And, their kind of medium income is a little bit lower, but they're embracing it. So that's easy for them and it's a free one. Pakistan's median age, 23 and a half years old versus the US, which is about 38 years old. I thought, yeah, 38
Oh,
and a half. So their median age is 10 years younger. So you have the
yes.
youth. Everybody knows the youth is always quicker to embrace new things
Yes.
because everything's new to them.
Hmm.
And the older you get, the less things are new to you. So, you can kind of use youth to your advantage in that way. And that's something as I've become middle-aged, I've started to notice that in ways, we can use youth to our advantage, as, the older people. So, yeah, kind of there's a few other ones like that, but those are kind of like the two main ones, I think. And, the accessibility, makes it, and the accessibility of free tools, I think is what makes
Hmm.
it big with them too. So, that's kind of an interesting little tidbit right there.
It is. I'm glad you dove into that because it does
Hmm.
give some explanation as to why this is the boom, as we say, is happening.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, either way, I think that about wraps it up for this evening.
I would say so.
Yes, I'd like to give everyone a big thank you for taking your time out of your day to listen to us, whatever country you're listening in. My name is Brian,
And I'm Adam.
and you have been listening to the Layman's AI, and we will see you next time.